Be aware that we have a state law that prohibits council from taking any action. So if it's not on the agenda, we can't take any action, but we are willing and ready to hear from you guys.
We, the petitioners, by the attached undersigned in the from the Community Watch Team of Broken Arrow, we want to submit a petition to the Broken Arrow City Council and all of the members listed here, and also Coast 1031 Exchange Incorporated and Robby Bell proprietors. We hereby protest and oppose and forbid the heavy commercial development of 102-acre amusement park, BAZ 2051, 2052, and 2053, located at 71st Street and to 81st Street, east of the Creek Turnpike, to 212th East Avenue, Broken Arrow, Wagner County, Oklahoma, Robby Bell, proprietor. We, the undersigned, oppose and forbid the proposed 102-acre park and avenue, which enroach multiple neighborhoods of over 1,000 Broken Arrow homeowners.
This development may bring higher traffic, but it will also bring something the young people of this city need greatly more than ever, and that's jobs, jobs, and jobs.
You're taking away your cash cow from your property taxes, which we all here have paid, and support the school, support the city, support the town, support our community, and now you're kind of pulling that out from under us. And I understand if all that tax money doesn't go exactly towards, but my tax dollars go to the city of Broken Arrow, where I spend a ton of money walking up and down these streets, spending my hard-earned money.
No, we can't make a, there's no decision to be made. Excuse me, but just an observation. I've been on the council for many years, and a lot of groups, big groups, have come in opposition to something, but certainly very orderly, very respectful. I appreciate that. I will tell you that as one person mentioned, the city manager and the chamber have been visiting about it, and I don't need to defend him, he defended himself, but that's their job, is to visit about potential coming into the city of Broken Arrow. The ones that makes the final decision on it will be the 5 council persons. And just speaking for myself, I didn't really know about it. I knew Bells was looking for a place in Tulsa County over the years, but didn't know about it until the day of the announcement.
The law limits what we can and can't prohibit going into a piece of property. No matter how we feel about something, the law gives us limits to what we can and can't approve. But what the law does allow us to do is when someone asks us for funds on a project, or someone is going to put in a project, you asked who pays for the street improvements, those are things that this council would have an opportunity to examine and take into account on any development that would come into the city of any kind, especially because site plans have to be presented to us. And as Councilor Park said, at the end of the day, the buck stops with us, and that's fine. That's how it should be. But I think it's important you understand, if someone buys a piece of property and it's zoned properly, and they follow all those ordinances and statutes, our ability to prohibit or inhibit something, we don't have that legal authority. But what we can do is ensure that whatever goes into a piece of property complies with all appropriate ordinances, state laws, if there are OSHA requirements, if there are Department of Labor, all of that, and we will be looking very close. I also have a lot of questions that I want answered about this project before my vote would be made in any direction. I
sort of feel like my integrity is in question here, so I need to respond. It is my responsibility as city manager working with the chamber. We look at potential development around this community almost on a daily basis. And it's my responsibility to look at those developments very seriously. Sometimes those developments come to fruition and sometimes they don't. And with all due respect, Mr. Bell, you've talked to everybody in the Tulsa metropolitan area since 2006. So the conversations that you've had with us as well as other cities, nothing's come to fruition until the last, basically earlier this year when the land was purchased. So I want everybody to know is that for me, it's very important that I maintain a certain amount of confidentiality, because if Broken Arrow has a reputation that you can't talk to city officials in confidence, then we will not be considered by a lot of developers, because when you're talking about bringing manufacturing, you're talking about bringing businesses, sometimes that includes them moving from another location, which means people can be displaced. And so I take my confidentiality responsibilities very serious, because I don't want to lose a deal because we reveal something that is a concern that I don't have the authority to do. So in this case, I want the public to know is that we have not received an application as of yet. And I can assure you that the council members and I, and this is for you to hear, Mr. Bell, we have the exact same concerns that they do about the traffic, about the stormwater, and about the other impacts your potential development and your partners could have on our community. And while there is tremendous opportunity here, this council is going to look at this very seriously, because we don't want the stormwater to increase on other developments. We don't want crime to be increased in the area. And by all means, anytime there's going to be public improvements that was mentioned, somebody has to pay for those. And as of right now, the city hasn't made any agreement with the developer to provide any financial assistance. Now, is a ask coming? That's possible. And the city will consider that ask just like we do any other development, like when Bass Pro came. We consider that development. Just like when we looked at our TIF district with research, there was incentives giving there. That's a part of the economic development process. But at this point, I have not met with anyone asking the city to provide any type of assistance. Until that happens, then right now all this is a potential application. But I promise the public that I will be as transparent in the process as I can, and that includes my heart, because I only want best for What's Broken Arrow, just like the council members do. So I don't know if this development's going to happen, because there may be things that come before the Planning Commission, the council, that make this project not something we want to consider. But Councilmember Udi is right. It is zoned for this project, and so therefore we have to go through that process. Last thing I'll say is they have hired a professional engineer that knows what they're doing when it comes to building site plans. They've had conversations with Rural Water 4 about serving the area. It's determined that they can't serve the area, so they want the city to consider that. So one of the things we will have to look at is possibly serving water. So that's where we are right now, and I assure you that is every time we move forward with some step of this, I will make sure the public is aware. That's all I have here.
For more information, you can visit TULSAworld.com.